Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. And I'm thrilled to be in London, but at the Natural History Museum. And I'm here with Laura Hodges Bethge and Giles Hawke from Celebrity Cruises. So tell us, Laura, why are you in London? Why are you here?
So I'm going to get on Celebrity Apex tomorrow for our President's Cruise. So really excited. So we decided, since we're in London, and who doesn't love a good gala, we brought all of our loyalty members together, those that were coming in early, to join us at the Natural History Museum to kick off the President's Cruise.
So yes, you've got an amazing venue. I've just had a little sneak peek, so it's going to be a wonderful gala evening tonight. You look fantastic, both of you, by the way.
Thank you.
So tell us what's in store for your guests on the President's Cruise, though? Or is that a closely guarded secret?
No, well, they don't know yet, so we want to tell them.
No, but this is what you can tell me.
Now I'm going to tell you. So we always do really exciting things on the President's Cruise. It's a wonderful time for us to say thank you for being such loyal members of Celebrity Cruises and loyal guests of Celebrity Cruises. So we have lots of really cool entertainment. We've got a Broadway singer. Her name's Shoshana Bean. She's going to be with us. Daniel Ballou, our global culinary ambassador, he's going to be there. He's going to be doing a special chef's table. He's doing a cooking competition with us. He's going to do a book signing and a fireside chat. It's going to be really fun. We also have Celia Garland, and she's a wonderful naturalist, and she's going to tell us all of the wonderful things we're going to see as we're sailing through the fjords. So gorgeous landscapes, great food, great entertainment.
And it's the first time you've done a President's Cruise to the fjords, though, is that right?
Very first time.
Well, and you wanted to do that, because I remember talking to you when you first got the job, and that was your top, your sort of bucket list where you wanted to go.
Yes, I've never done it myself, so I'm so excited to get to share it for the first time with guests. It's going to be so fun.
And what do? They fight to be on a table with you at dinner? Is that how it works?
Well, we're actually doing a lot of hosted shore excursions. So every single place that we're in port, I'll be hosting shore ex. And so those guests that have been interested in those things or want to spend some quality time together, we'll get to do that. So when we're in Bruges, we're going to do a beer tasting. To know me is to know I love my wine. So this is going to be interesting.
Okay, so do you love your beer? We'll find out.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
And then we're doing a rib boat safari in Alisand. We're doing a special complimentary excursion for our Elite Plus and Zenith members when we're in Stavanger. So just so many wonderful things.
And obviously there's some special things happening because it's a President's Cruise, but these would be some of the excursions you would do on an ordinary Celebrity Cruise.
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. And you don't get to go, Giles?
No, unfortunately not this year. I'm hoping to go next year.
Okay, all right. Well, we need you at the Clear Conference anyway, so we will be seeing you there. Let's move on then from the President's Cruise and just talk about Celebrity in general. And I would like to start just with how things are going this year. We're in May, so we're moving into the lates market. How is business for you? If I ask you globally, and then you can perhaps pick up on this on the local market, Giles.
Yeah, so I think overall we recently announced our earnings and things are very good. We raised the top end of our guidance. We continue to see guests wanting to spend on wonderful experiences, and cruise is a great value in that place. So we don't see anything slowing down in terms of how our consumers, just in general, but our guests are spending on experiences. And so we're the beneficiaries of that.
All right, that's good. And then when we last spoke, Giles, you were talking about you were saying people had booked actually much earlier this year, and so there was a little bit less around. Is that still the case? Have you still got capacity for this year?
Yeah, we're ahead year on year of where we were last year by a reasonable amount, actually. Agents are still seeing demand. You have the odd softer week, but overall we're year on year, we're ahead every week trading as we go through the year.
Yeah, and did they book earlier because you went on sale earlier? Or
I think it's a combination of us going on sale earlier.
Yeah.
And some guests not getting on the cruises they wanted to last year, so booking earlier to get on them. And I think agents are, doing a really good job of explaining to customers, if you want to get on, book now, don't wait for a late deal.
Yeah.
Certainly on something like Celebrity Apex, we are so well sold that it's actually hard to get on. So again, for 2026, we're seeing bookings coming in early.
And what's the clientele on Apex? Because I imagine it would have been a lot of Americans coming to sail, like, ex-UK. And we do know, we just saw Expedia came out saying that their business from the States was down. Also, Brits going to the States as well as coming this way. And other companies have also reported that. How is that impacting, or are you seeing that, and is that impacting your business at all?
We're seeing the sort of mix we expected of Americans coming on Apex. Greater proportion than we had last year. We're not seeing cancellations, so we're still seeing them travelling, still seeing demand hold really strong. So The mix is roughly 50% North Americans and 50% Brits, Australians, and other nationalities as well. So it's a really nice mix on board because you get that sort of international flavour.
Well, of course, lots of Brits do like selling ex-UK, so we do love having Apex here. But what about other trends for our market, Giles? What is there anything that stood out this year? What are people booking, or in durations or destinations? Or?
So Europe remains really strong.
Yeah.
It remains, for us here, it's our number one focus, our number one destination. We've just done a big campaign on Caribbean. We've done our Destination Unknown campaign, and we've seen Caribbean bookings shoot up as a result of that.
Really great.
I think for us, for Virgin Atlantic and for Royal Caribbean, we've all seen a big benefit from that. We've seen that sort of raising the awareness, and people, agents really keen to win their place on the Destination Unknown competition, which we'll be talking about in a week or so to announce the winners. Asia is doing really well, and from the UK, we're a big proportion of the Asia business for Celebrity Cruises. And
why do you think that is?
I think the itineraries are really, really appealing. I think there are some agents who do a great job of creating exclusive itineraries, so unique itineraries. They're packaging pre and post stays in hotels and tours and other excursions. And I think the combination of the amazing celebrity product, the destinations we go to in our cruises, and then the pre and post that the agents create seems to just generate huge demand.
Great, okay. And just before we move on from general trading, price has been holding up for you guys this year. People have been saying it's been pretty good.
We have been, just in general, very pleased with everything that we're seeing. So as Giles said, people are booking earlier when that means less inventory. That's supply and demand.
Yeah, absolutely, we like that. Well, you did say that, Giles, because people were moaning in the UK that they couldn't get some of the capacity wasn't there that they were used to in previous years, but you were saying actually this is what we want. We want people to you want to book earlier. Yeah, because then you can.
Well, I think it works for agents because they have the higher prices, they have the security of the money coming in, they know they've got the bookings. It works for us as cruise lines because we've got that security again, knowing people are booking, and we can maintain prices. And actually, it works for customers because they know what they're going to get. Yes. They can plan ahead. They can have that. There's research, I think we talked about this before, there's research that says the bit between booking your holiday and travelling is a massive proportion of the enjoyment of the holiday. So it gives the customers that chance to really plan and think about and be excited about it for a longer period of time.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Let's move on because we all want to talk about your new ship that's coming in.
Yes.
So, and last time we spoke, you were teasing us, Laura, because you were saying, oh, there's going to be 7 new things.
Yes.
And you've now announced a few of them.
We've announced 2.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think we know this is the Bazaar, and we think this is date night all day long. Have I got any more?
Well, yeah. So we monikered when we announced Bora in the Garden, which is going to be our new restaurant, as date night all day long because it starts out with a boozy brunch, which is just going to be so amazing. So Bazaar, we're really excited about. It's in, for those agents and advisors that know our Edge series, it is the space that was Eden, will now be called the Bazaar. It starts at the immersive tunnel, really kind of engaging your senses with smell and sight, and as you're going through, you start getting engaged in for now, because it'll start in the Caribbean, very Caribbean-esque colors. And then as you enter the marketplace, which is the space right outside of the actual Bazaar space, it's this wonderful marketplace where there's going to be food tastings and drink tastings and local artisans, and you're going to get to experience everything, live music. And then as you enter the space, then there's real experiential activities, great shows, things that you could sign up for, and 2 amazing restaurants.
Okay, because you did say, when I said what were your priorities when you first started, you did want to talk about culinary and entertainment. So it feels like you've fused those together for this.
Exactly right. They're all coming together in the Bazaar. Our guests tell us constantly the number one reason they choose to go on vacation is the destination they're going. And then on a cruise ship, as we leave port, we wanted to bring that destination on board so guests can continue that experience.
Can you switch this then? So if when she moves, out of the Caribbean, that space could be different flavors from a different
Absolutely. Okay. So we have we're using different technology that'll be able to change the look and feel of the space.
Okay.
So we have 4 Caribbean festivals when we're in the Caribbean, and when she transitions to Europe, she'll go into 4 different Mediterranean festivals.
That's amazing. Yes. That's good. Okay, so do you want to tell us about the other 5?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe one.
Soon.
Maybe give us one, or give us
well, what I can tell you is that we're only going to announce 6 of the 7 because the 7th is going to remain our little secret.
Oh, for the actual launch itself.
Yes.
Okay, I'm very excited about that. All right, so when will we hear the next sort of reveal?
In the next couple of weeks, actually.
Okay.
So yeah,
we're going to be feeding it because we've got until November. So you've got to space
giving you a little bit at a time.
Okay, all right. Let's just talk about though that you've signed for a 6th Edge Class ship, which was not in the plan, certainly.
It wasn't in
back with your predecessor that I talked about. So you've clearly gone, I want another one.
No, yes, and right when I started beating that drum. I'm like, we're going to need another one. We're going to need another one, and there was no way to really shoehorn it in at the yard. And then magic happened.
How does that magic happen? Somebody else cancels.
A slot became available, and we were first on their list because I've been begging for 18 months. So they gave us a call, and we were able to shoehorn it in. We're calling it is an Edge 6, but we're calling her Excel 2 because the 7 new places and spaces on Excel will then carry over to her sister ship Excel 2.
Will she then be identical to Excel then, or
you'll
do something else again?
I know. A few things, we try, and we have a few years to dream about it. So we'll do that. But she'll come in the fall of 28, which we're excited
And you
about.
did also say that you're then already imagining another sort of series, so
Absolutely.
something different.
Yes.
And why is that? Because you want to service different type of customer or a different destination?
Definitely not changing our customer. I mean, our customers are North Star, and that is the segment that we're in, this premium segment, and we're going to continue in that vein. We do have some ships that are getting a bit older, and so they do tend to retire when they get to be between 30 and 40 years old, and so we're planning for the future in terms of, as those ships retire, being ready to have additional capacity for our guests.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you about something else you said.
Sure.
I love this. I love picking up what you've said and then you've got to explain it. But you've said we're investing in next generation connectivity and more immersive destination experiences.
Yes.
So can you explain a little bit more about what you mean by that?
So I think the bazaar is definitely one of those places and spaces that indicative of that, really blurring the line between ship and shore, almost erasing it completely so that guests are really immersed in the destination.
Yeah.
Another way that we're going to bring that to light is with our river cruise product. So part of the reason that we wanted to get into river cruises is half of our guests are already taking river cruises. They've told us they want to do that with us. They love it. But that immersiveness of the destination that you can do in small groups when you're on a smaller river ship is just really special.
Okay, well, you know I gave Giles a hard time at the River Cruise Conference because...
he wouldn't tell you anything.
Well, you had a big advert saying, "Oh, we're going to do it really differently. This is how celebrity rivers." You made a verb of it, which is brilliant.
This is how we river.
This is how we river. And I was saying, "Well, how?" Because obviously, many river ships are very similar in size. You can only, rivers only take certain size vessels.
Yes.
So I was really pushing him on how you were going to do it.
And what'd you say,
differently.
Giles?
Well, don't say the same again because we're a couple of months on. But perhaps you can, I know you're talking about the immersion, but all the river cruise lines will say we really immerse ourselves in the destination. So what are you doing? What will Celebrity bring that no other river line has done?
I can't give too much away just yet because we will be talking about this in the next couple of months when we open for sale. What I can say is there's different areas on the river ships that are ripe for innovation, and we think that top deck is ripe for innovation.
Okay.
For those that have taken river cruises and sell river cruises, you know that top deck has to close down at times when you're going under bridges or through locks and things of that nature. We want to find a way to really exploit that top deck in a way that no one else has. And being part of the Royal Caribbean Group, you know that the ships that we bring out consistently on the ocean are exceptionally innovative. So folks should expect that same level of innovation on the river, even though you said it, the envelope of those river ships are the size that they are.
Right? But that's but you like a challenge.
Oh, I love a challenge.
So you suddenly got really into river cruising now. Okay, I love that. All right, so and you say it goes on sale in a couple of months' time.
In a couple of months' time.
Okay, all right, very exciting. And then the other kinds of innovation, if we can just finish on that. Obviously, we just heard about Perfect Day in Mexico. That was the big announcement this week. And you were the one that was pushing to get your guests to go into the original Perfect Day. Will you also be calling it Mexico?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then also, Giles was talking about, just Australia, New Zealand, and those kind of immersive itineraries in Asia, et cetera. Also, that what the Royal Caribbean team announced was Leilepa, which will be a beach club in Vanuatu, which is a beautiful stretch of beach. In my prior life, I had been traveling back and forth there quite often, and it is absolutely spectacular. So I look forward to our celebrity guests also getting to visit Leilepa Beach Club.
And how has it gone down with celebrity guests? Just being able to have the perfect day
number
added
one
into
destination in the Caribbean. Yeah. As soon as they visited, it became our number one destination.
Okay.
So,
and you don't have separate celebrity areas, do you?
We don't have
just
celebrity. Correct, but the way it was designed is that there's something kind of for everyone. So Our guests tend to gravitate towards, there's a adults-only area. They tended to
Yes.
gravitate
Okay,
there.
that makes
They
sense.
gravitate to the beach club. They gravitate where there's a little bit more relaxation. Not many of our guests are in the water park, and that's okay, because there's other places and spaces for them. Yes, and I actually do go too. I do go too.
And the stuff they're saying about the Mexico one with the tallest water slide, I mean, it's all
It's gonna
crazy.
be-
Longest lazy river in the
Yes,
world.
yeah, it's
with a
gonna
little
be
bit of
amazing.
section of crazy, it's going to be really fun.
I know you've got to get to your gala dinner, so I'm
Yes.
going to rattle through the last things. I just want to talk about marketing, because obviously you had that big campaign about Nothing Comes Close, which we loved. And I wanted to, for people who, I always say this because there'll be people here that are watching this who don't know celebrity. What is it that gives you the confidence? What is it about celebrity that you do that no one else does that gives you the confidence to say nothing comes close to what we do?
It's the fusion of all the things, but if I had to pick one thing, it's our consistent elevated hospitality. We internally call it the celebrity way. We go above and beyond in the way we make you feel. And our goal of that brand campaign was to really put on steroids the way in which we make people feel when they're on board. And then that comes really through what our crew members affectionately call +1 moments. So they're always looking for some way to make your experience extra special.
Okay.
A great example of that, we have one crew member who is an amazing singer. It literally sounds like Andrea Bocelli. Like, he's so amazing. I just heard him, but he's a waiter in our main dining
wow,
room.
okay.
So once a cruise on Celebrity Silhouette, while he's there, all of a sudden in the main dining room, you hear him start singing, and it's absolutely spectacular. So it's the things that you don't expect, and the way that our crew members work really diligently to make you feel amazing on this elevated premium product.
Yeah. And that will remain your sort of brand message,
Yes.
will it? Or have you got other sort of
Now
campaigns coming out?
We'll always have Nothing Comes Close is truly the essence of who we are, and that will remain.
Yeah.
How we express that in different fashions, music may change, things of that nature, but the true essence and foundation of who we are is that. And we use that as a North Star.
Because obviously previously it was all about inclusion and diversity. That was your big pillar. That was your sort of big marketing push. And that feels like I know it's important, but it feels like that's taken a back seat perhaps to other things that you're really passionate about.
Yeah, those things are very, very important,
Yeah.
and they're not going to change. That said, we wanted to put our customer at the center in how we show up in the marketplace, and we've done that with Nothing Comes Close. And the way that we have tested it and what consumers are saying about it is that it's really resonating.
Yeah. All right. Let's just let Giles say something. Give you a rest.
What do you want to say, Giles?
But we haven't really
I'll wait
spoken to
till I
you.
get
We haven't spoken to you since you got your new role. So properly, I mean, I've spoken to you a lot, but you now looking after lots of markets, and I just wanted to know, just it's interesting for us. Is the UK still your most favourite market? No, but in all seriousness, which ones are growing fastest? It's quite interesting to see what else you're looking at.
So I've been doing a bit of my world tour. So I've been down to Australia, I've been down to Mexico last week actually. And so I've got Latin America, I've got APAC, and then I've got EMEA. So, when we look at the scale, EMEA by far is our biggest market. So it's really important to me to keep focusing with Claire, working with Claire and her team to make sure that we continue to deliver everything we need to deliver. And then I've got great GM in Australia, great GM down in Mexico. So the team that I work with, I'm really lucky. I'm working with fantastic people. The key for me is to say, how can we learn from what we're doing in different areas? How can we be more efficient, more effective? How can we understand that this works really well here? If we translate this to this market, we could be even better in how we work with our trade partners. We deliver even better experience for our customers. So that's what I'm working on. When it comes down to which markets are growing, I mean, the UK is going to remain fundamentally our core for international.
But is it still? I mean, it's not going to be growing as fast as some of your emerging markets, of course. But is it still growing?
In percentage terms, it might not, but definitely in terms of absolute volume and volume growth, it will be our number one focus.
Yeah. Okay. I know when you're doing your visits because I follow Giles on Strava, and you're running in different places all around the world. So I know when you're
literally running.
I know when you're visiting your different offices. Okay. All right. Let's finish on agents, and that's very important. That's who's going to be watching this video. I know that you're really passionate about it. You've launched your second year of Celebrity for Beginners. I mean, you're getting over 150 agents on every single webinar, and they're new to celebrity. What difference is that making to your business, and how are you then sort of working with your trade partners, because you're getting so many new ones in who don't know you, as well as your loyal ones?
Well, I think doing something like Celebrity for Beginners allows us to talk to people who otherwise we might never get to see. It allows them to be hand raised and select and say, we want to be part of Celebrity, we want to sell you. That then allows us to identify those who do the training and then start selling. Once we've identified them, we're actually working on some great stuff for the future where we're going to do it in a much more automated way, so we can give them really good support, but do that in an online automated way. We then have a big sales team. We've got a field sales team out there visiting partners, and we'll continue to do that. We're really focused on...
What aspects will you automate? Sorry, just so to be clear, what will you
the
automate?
sort of communication they get. So
Okay.
we're actually communicating to our agent partners in a way that works for them. We've changed how we're doing it. So we're using CRM technology to talk to partners. So we're talking to different partners, whether they be regular cruise sellers, whether they be new to selling cruise, whether they sell an occasional cruise, and they're getting different messages, different types of information, depending on where they are in their relationship with us. So what we're trying to do is make it easier for every agent to work with us, but not treat every agent the same.
Yeah, okay. And I know, Laura, when you came, first thing you said was, I'm going to go out and listen, and you
Yes.
probably did a lot of that at the start, and
Yes.
you've got other things to do now,
Always.
but what were they telling you? Is there if maybe one little nugget of something they told you that you've acted on?
Well, I would say about the brand, actually, our agents, as well as our crew members on board, inspired Nothing Comes Close and inspired the Celebrity Way, because they kept saying to us, the agents kept saying, I said, how would you encapsulate celebrity? And like, you're just better. And so that, honestly, that translates into Nothing Comes Close to who we are. And that was
So it
a
was their
nugget that it was
feedback,
their
really?
feedback
Okay.
that really helped us figure out how we encapsulate who we are and how we share that with everyone. And it's really resonating with consumers, which is helping them. It's in our broader marketing campaign, and our guests go to our travel partners to book. And our crew members are consistently just go above and beyond, and so Nothing Comes Close to them as well.
Okay, perfect. Final question.
Yes.
What are you most concerned about, and what are you most excited about in perhaps the year ahead? Because we have got some headwinds. I mean, there are, geopolitical issues all around the world, etc. But there's also some really exciting stuff happening. So maybe you could answer both of those.
Actually, I would say it's the same thing for both, and it's not concerned, just nervous. Anytime you're bringing out a new vessel, so it'd be Celebrity Excel, I'm the most excited about her, but anytime you're bringing out a new vessel and you've got new products and experiences that you've never taken to market before, it makes you a little nervous. But that fire in our belly is what encourages us to create great things for our guests.
And Giles, you get the same question. You can have the final word.
I guess for me, one of the biggest focuses is making sure we hit our numbers. And I
well,
say that with my boss.
keep it real.
And
Keep it real.
it's
You've
really
got to do
important
that.
to hit our numbers, and our agent partners do too.
Yeah.
And we all benefit from that because everyone
Yeah.
earns money, and we get guests going on fantastic holidays. What am I most excited about? We've got XL coming, both the inaugural, but then XL is coming over to Europe next summer, and I think that's going to be really exciing for agent partners. And
Can she call in to
unfortunately
Southampton?
not, but we've got a plan.
Okay.
And,
do you want to tell us any more?
And then obviously we've got Apex coming back again next summer to Southampton. So there's lots to be excited about.
Okay, and maybe we could have another ship at some point in Southampton, Laura.
Yeah, maybe. Absolutely. We're constantly looking at, we were just in a deployment meeting last week, so constantly.
Well, and I guess it just depends. What the decision would be based on how well the UK is selling, I guess. And
how much demand is there, and then
Yeah.
also the destinations that our guests want to visit, right?
Yeah.
And where's the easiest place to home port to do that?
Yeah, because we always want to have the newest tonnage and all the rest of
Absolutely.
it. Okay. All right, I can hear them setting up. If you've heard that noise, it's because they're putting 100-odd chairs in or whatever they're doing. I'm so grateful for your time because I know you're busy.
Oh, it's so wonderful to see
Have
you.
a wonderful President's
Thank
Cruise. It's
you.
going to be amazing, and I'll see you next week at Clear.
See you in Clear.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you.